Hi everyone and welcome to this video. In this video, we are going to talk about GME or GameStop. More importantly, what is going on in this, and we will try to declutter it for you and make it as simple as possible. So let's start. Now, what is this GME? Okay, so GME is the trading code for GameStop, which is a video game retailer in the US. Now, GME was a bona fide loser stock. What do we mean by a bona fide loser? Essentially, this was a stock with no prospects. Okay. So you see this over the last 4 years, the value of this stock has gone down from $40 to around $5, in the middle hitting around $4 as well. So that's a 90% reduction in value. Why was this happening? Well, as simple as who is really buying video games from a retail store anymore? Everyone just buys it online, downloads it on their computer or PS3 or PS4 or uh, Xbox or whatever, and just plays it, right? So as it is, prospects were low. Add to that the COVID lockdown. So whatever little footfalls GameStop retail stores had, they also stopped. And therefore, the stock was a bona fide loser. Okay. Everyone knew that this is a company not doing well. In fact, over the last 2 years, they've not even made a profit. But then what happened? Suddenly, you see, over the last 6 months, this stock has just gone up one way. Okay. So in the last 6 months, this stock is up by a whooping 83x. What do I mean by 83x? If you put 100 rupees uh, investment, that will become 8,300 rupees. Okay. Just within 6 months. Insane, right? Not only that, within the last week itself, the stock has gained more than $280, right? So, what exactly is going on? What the hell is going on? Why is this happening? Well, the straight answer is it's a short squeeze. But before I can explain you what is a short squeeze, let me first explain you what is a short, and then we can see how does a short squeeze happen. So what is short selling? See, under normal circumstances, you would want to buy a stock at 10 rupees and sell it at 15 rupees and make a profit of 5 rupees, right? This is a normal trade. However, what is a short trade? A short trade is you sell at 15 and you buy at 10 later on. Okay. And therefore, your buying and selling price remains the same and you still make the 5 rupee profit, but you are selling first and buying later. So, stock markets, commodity markets, currency markets, a lot of markets allow you to do this. Okay. They allow you to sell something first and then buy later on, so that in between, if the price goes down, you make a profit. But how is it possible to sell something which you don't own? Okay. So let me give you an example. Okay. Let's say there's a guy called as Melvin who wants to short the GME stock. Now, how does Melvin go about shorting the stock and make money if the stock price goes down? So Melvin approaches an existing stockholder of GME and borrows the stock. Okay. So he tells this stockholder, says that, okay, you know what, you already hold this stock, nothing's really happening. So why don't you loan it to me? And after a few days or a weeks or months, whatever is the agreement, I will give this stock back to you. Okay. And in on top of that, I will also give you certain interest on it, right? So this is a normal practice, stock lending and stock borrowing, which happens. And Melvin borrows this stock and then sells it in the market. Okay, so to whoever, to Wayne, Shane, Bryce, whoever, right? And then what is going to happen? So when Melvin shorts the stock, okay, by borrowing, Melvin is hoping that the GME stock will tank. Okay, so after a month, if the stock is down substantially, Melvin can then buy from the market and give it back to the lender. Okay, and thus making good on the borrowing, and in the process also making some money. Okay, so Melvin is hoping that GME stock will tank and he will be able to cover it up later at a much lower price. On the other hand, what are WS and B thinking? They are hoping that GME prices will go up, and that is the reason they have bought, right? So this is essentially, what happens in short selling. The question is who will win? Well, that depends on where does the price go from here, right? So GME prospects was so bad, okay, that it became the most shorted stock in US history. The total number of shorts, okay, so the total number of shares short sold in the market was 140% of the shares outstanding. What does it mean? If what that means is if there are 100 shares of GME trading in the market, the number of shorts that have been created or the number of short sales that have been uh, executed are 100 are for 140 shares. Now, again, you will ask me how is it possible? If there are only 100 shares in the market, how is it possible to borrow and short sell 140 shares? Okay, so let me explain how this goes about. Okay, so Melvin borrows GME stock from an existing shareholder and sells it short in the market. Okay, and let's say he sells it to W. Okay, now, stock resides in the demat account of W. He's a stockholder. Now, Melvin approaches W again and says that, okay, why don't you lend this stock to me and I will short sell it again and I will give you some interest. And W says, well, okay. And he lends this stock again to Melvin, who again shorts it in the market and let's say sells it to someone else, S. Okay. So now Melvin has effectively two shots against the same share. Okay. Now, obviously, in the real stock market, Melvin would not know who is the exact buyer or, approach them. But this is the general concept that whoever is buying from the market, the brokers can approach them and say, why don't you keep on lending this stock that you own? And on the other side, they can find people who keep on shorting these stocks. And therefore, for the same number of shares, you can actually have more than uh, that amount of shorts, right? And that is what exactly happened. So everyone, it was like it was like the simplest trade that there was. It was people were feeling that this is free money. Everyone should just load on the shorts, and that is what everyone did. And who is this guy Melvin, who I keep referring to? It's a very peculiar name, and I have chosen it on purpose. Okay, so Melvin is actually Melvin Capital, which is a New York based hedge fund founded in 2014. It has a AUM, asset under management, of more than $12 billion. In rupees terms, that's more than 10,000 crores. Okay. And Melvin Capital was, or rather is maybe, we still don't know yet, the biggest short holder in GME. So it was these big hedge funds that were shorting the GME stock. Citron Research was another prominent shorter. Okay, so the entire short game was being controlled by these, high profile hedge funds, and they felt that GME stock should just tank and go to zero or close to zero, right? And who is WSB? Who are these Wayne, Shane, and Bryce, and who are buying? Okay, so WSB again, I've chosen it for a particular reason. WSB stands for Wall Street Bets. Okay, it is a subreddit for traders. Okay, for those of you who don't know what is subreddit, it is a kind of online forum, like a chat room. Okay, it's an online thread where a lot of traders congregate and exchange ideas and talk to each other. Current following of Wall Street Bets is over 2 million. Okay. And most of these people are young retail traders. Okay. So the WSB forum has targeted other stocks for a short squeeze as well. Okay. So this is WSB. So now you have the two most prominent players. Okay. You have on one side the hedge funds headed by Melvin Capital and Citron Research, who are short. And then you have on the other side a bunch of retail traders, most of whom got this idea or are following this idea from Wall Street Bets forum. So what happened? What is the squeeze? Okay, so once the shorts were reported, WSB, which is Wall Street Bets, started targeting the GME counter for a squeeze. Okay. It all started with a very old post by a prominent WSB user, uh, Deep Value. Okay, I'm not going to pronounce the whole name, but you get what is his entire name, right? So he has long been a proponent that GME stock is undervalued and we should buy, etc., etc. And later on, a lot of other people caught up with his idea, right? So what happened? So there was a mass organized buying by WSB users. Okay. So on one hand, you had the shorts from the hedge funds, and now you had this huge community of retail traders who started piling on to GameStop, who started buying this stock in hordes. Okay. So they bought it in cash. A lot of them bought options as well. And this surge in demand started pushing the price up. Okay. And as the settlement date keeps on coming closer, okay. So understand what happens. So if I am short, right, and I see the stock price moving up, what does it mean? It means that I have started running losses. And as the losses keep piling up, the broker will keep asking for more and more margin from me, right? And I only have limited amounts of cash. It may be a lot, but still there is a limit to it, right? Even if I'm a hedge fund. So after a point of time, I will have to, I cannot pay for the losses anymore. And therefore, I will have to start unwinding my shorts. That is, how do I free up my margin, or how do I really, get out of this trade? How do I book my losses? I have to start buying, right? And that is exactly what is a squeeze. Okay. A squeeze is when the losses pile up so much that the short holders start getting margin calls and they are forced to buy. Thus, on one hand, there is the WSB traders who are already buying and pushing the price up. And on the other hand, the shorters who are actually hoping that the price will go down are now forced themselves to buy as well. Okay. And therefore, on from all the sides, when buying pressure starts coming in, the stock price just rockets. Okay. And that is what is called a squeeze, right? So this further buying pressure from all sides, okay, leads to a humongous spurt in price. And this is what happened here. Can you see this? Like, it rose, and then just rocketed, right, within a week. So that is what is a squeeze. Okay. Now, where are things as of now? Okay, so this is almost like a fairy tale, right? So we always hear stories of how retail traders lose money, and they are always on the losing side, and they always get the bad end of the stick, etc., etc. And the game is rigged in favor of hedge funds and these big players and the big fishes of the market. But why is this fascinating? This is fascinating because this is one of those rare times when the retail guy, the small guy, has actually, somehow overcome all the odds and is beating the big fishes at their own game, right? And that is why it is so fascinating, and that is why it is getting so much of press around the world. Now, where are things as of now? Okay, so you know that some spurt has already happened. Okay, so as on 26th of January, Melvin reported that they lost 30% of their AUM in the GME short squeeze. Okay, and that's a huge number. Remember, they are over 10,000 crores. So when they say that we lost over 30% of our AUM, that's more than 3,000 crores of money lost. That's huge, right? Melvin has announced that they have closed all the shots and booked all their losses. And of course, because the losses were so big and, like they had to pay margin to the brokers and everything, they had to take an emergency loan from other hedge funds. So Melvin has taken an emergency loan of $2.75 billion just to maintain their other positions intact, right? There are, however, rumors going on that Melvin is already bankrupt. Okay, and other hedge funds will follow suit soon. So this is Melvin's side of the story. They said, okay, well played. We lost 30%, but we are out of this now. Thank you so much. All right. And we will deal with it. We will get loans and we will deal with it and we will survive. Right. What is WSB saying on the other hand? WSB is saying, or rather, WSB is full of posts which are saying that Melvin is lying. Okay, the shots are not yet closed. How are they coming to these conclusions? Well, if you read the posts, you will understand that a lot of them are analyzing the volume numbers, like, how much volume has actually happened in the last few days, and comparing it with the actual shots that were there, and saying that, okay, you know what, these amount of shots cannot be covered with this volume, so on and so forth. So Melvin, there are a lot of posts on WSB saying that clearly Melvin is lying, and they have not yet covered the shots, but they want us to believe that they are out of it. Okay. Now, why are they saying that they want us to believe that they are out of it? See, understand again. There are two opposing sides, and this is about a game of who blinks first. Okay, so well, Melvin has losses piling up. Okay, so they are desperate to get out. Okay, but if they buy everything, they themselves end up making the price higher and higher and higher, and therefore compounding their own losses. However, if they are able to convince the WSB guys that we are out of it and there is no more buying pressure or there is no more squeeze coming in, then the WSB guys will think, okay, you know what? We got the stock from $4 to, 300, $400, whatever. And let's start booking our profits here, right? Because the squeeze is over, they are out, there's nothing much to do now. And they start selling and booking their profits. And then, if Melvin still has some stocks or shorts that are yet to be closed, they can buy the same thing or the same uh, stocks against what the WSB guys are selling. And therefore, there is an artificial selling pressure created from the WSB side. If Melvin is able to convince them that they are out of the shots and there is nothing more to do, then WSB starts creating selling pressure themselves, and Melvin can buy into that selling pressure, close their shots without actually, getting the price even higher, right? So it is all a game of who blinks first now, right? Uh, are they able to convince the WSB guys that they're out of it? From what it seems like, no. Most of the posts over there are still saying that, these guys are lying, do not follow them, right? So a lot of posts are asking WSB followers to keep holding the stock, as the squeeze has just started and there is a long way to go. Okay, so there are a lot of people in that forum saying that GameStop can go to 1,000, 2,000. There is even a post that says it can go to 5,000, right? So All of this is happening, and then there is a general dissing of media brokers and government reeking of conspiracy. So what they are saying, the media is taking the hedge fund side, the government is not responding as it should, the brokers are also siding with the hedge funds, and overall they are just creating a scenario where they are creating doubt in the minds of the retail traders who are part of WSB, so that they end up selling the stock, right? So also there is this general perception in that group that, okay, you know what, there is a huge conspiracy out there, they want to break our unity, but we won't let them break our unity, right? And they are hitting back. Okay, it's not only they're dissing, but they're hitting back. So I'll tell you what other things are happening, right? So as on 28th of Jan, a lot of big brokers, including Robinhood, which is one of the biggest brokerage apps in the US, stopped taking new buy orders on the GME stock. And there were like Twitter and the entire social media was flooded with screenshots showing that retail traders are not being allowed to buy GME stock. This led to a backlash. Okay, and globally, people called out Robinhood for not being fair and siding with the big guys and everything. And the backlash was so huge that Robinhood is now rated 1.1 star on Play Store. Okay. And not only this, the WSB guys are reaching out to their friends, family across the world, saying, you know what, join in. And we have European traders coming in, you have Asian retail traders coming in. All of them have started piling on into GameStop and buying, because all of them believe that they have caught the hedge funds, they have caught the big fish, and we should not let go. So it has morphed into a kind of movement where these small guys are fighting hard, they're pouring in their savings and just keeping the buying pressure high enough so that the hedge funds are not able to get out cheap, and they pay dearly. Okay. So there are elements to a movement also. It's not just a simple short squeeze, and it's gone global, right? So what happened on 28th of Jan? So the GameStop stock price on 28th of Jan had wild swings. Okay. So it touched a high of $483, a low of $112 all in the same day, and finally closed at 193, close to $200. What is happening today? As of now, the US market has not opened at the time of recording, but in the pre-market trading, the stock is already trading at $335. And again, the WSB forums are buzzing, and that this just shows that the squeeze is not yet over, and the stock price can move higher and higher and higher. So they are urging everyone to hold. If you have spare money, buy more. So these are just some of the screenshots of things that are going on. So you have Twitter, where people are comparing deep value with the greatest investors of all time, and some people are saying Wall Street Bets is actually a top 20 global hedge fund. And then you have some real people, okay, whose lives are changing because of this. So you have this one person who just made $1 million, and he's going crazy in the Wall Street Bets forum. And then you have this other guy who said that, oh, you know what, my dog needed a surgery for $4,000, I did not have the money, somehow I ended up investing in this, and now I have enough money to actually get my dog operated, right? So crazy stories. Like if you go to this forum, it will be even like you will see a lot more stories like this. So I hope you guys now understand what exactly is going on. Why is this such a big movement? Why is this, lighting up the entire social media, and the significance of this, right? Like for the first time, it feels like in a long, long, long time that the big guys are paying and the small guys are winning, and everyone loves that story, right? If you ask me personally, what's going to happen? Well, from my experience, while the squeeze lasts, it lasts. We don't know till when will it last. We don't know what will be the highest price that it goes to. But once the squeeze is over and once everything dies down, GameStop will be back just to the value of the business. And we all know that the analysis of the business is not wrong, right? It's not uh, like the business of GameStop is going to pick up overnight, right? So fundamentally, the stock is still very weak, but you don't know till when this short squeeze will go on. That was it for this video. See you in the next one. Thank you so much.